this is everything I ate in Mexico City, from Michelin-star tacos to world-class seafood to street quesadillas to indulgent corn pancakes. This is it. So we got in, we had a very early flight on a Wednesday morning. We were running on little sleep. We finally arrived in Mexico City. The Uber was close to 2 hours from the airport. The reason I'm telling you all of this is because I want to set the context. I was hungry. I was desperate. I was on the verge of snapping at someone. I just needed food in my belly. And I am ashamed to say that we went to a Japanese cafe. I know. The first bite of food in Mexico City was an egg sando. But it was so good. It was so good. The egg sando was fluffy, cheesy, a little bit sweet. We also got a chicken don that was just nourishing. When you're so hungry that you feel weak, it just nourishes your soul from the inside out. The best part of this meal, however, perhaps was, I think it was a Vietnamese coffee. It tasted like a salted caramel iced coffee. Now, we sat there in the sun, ate this nourishing, healthy food. The cafe was called Raku, by the way. And although it wasn't authentic Mexican, from that first bite of food, I was like, I think we're in for a treat, because the quality is high, the taste is phenomenal. And if this is what I'm getting from a Japanese cafe in Mexico City, strap me in, because I am ready to go. That eased the burning hole in my belly. That afternoon, we maybe had a sleep or whatever. And that night. Now, we didn't make any bookings prior to this trip, except for one, which I will go into in a little bit. So we had the beauty and the stress of being spontaneous every night. Every single night, we can just say, where do all four of us want to eat? Hope that it's all aligned and hope that they can seat us all. We went online, we went on Google Maps, we looked at restaurants close by that were highly rated. We found this one, Maizajo. It's a corn-focused taqueria downstairs and restaurant upstairs. So we made a booking there at 7:30. It was pretty quiet. I think Mexico City is quite a late city, and us noobs who'd been up since 4 a.m. were heading out before the city had lit up, which is fine by me. Can you hear me? We got there, walked past the taqueria, which looks like it could be a vibe. There's not really anyone there at this point in the night. And we head upstairs. Immediately, as you walk up, on your right is a big stone corn taco cooker. I've really this. I don't know what it's called, but I'll put it in here. And immediately, get a taco into you. Get it in your mouth, put a little salsa on it, put a little, what I thought was Parmesan, was salt. Ruined it pretty much because it was way too salty. But the concept of walking in and immediately having something to just settle your stomach, because you know when you go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, I am so hungry, I can't even order straight because I'm just so ravenous. I don't even want a drink, I just want bread or whatever. That doesn't exist here. Get a taco, get it in, sit down, you're relaxed, order a drink, delicious. We got a round of cocktails to start. Mezcalitas became one of the signature drinks from the trip. I, of course, had to be different and I can't remember what it was called, unfortunately, and I've tried to look up the menu online and I just can't find it. So I'm going to be explaining a lot of what I ate and drank at Maizajo. I thought it was going to be a dirty martini, a bit darker in color, but actually very sweet. Almost had an aniseed kind of taste and was beautifully balanced. Really, really great cocktails. They also bring over some tostadas, a few lethal salsas. One was lethal. Most were delicious, just to nibble on once again. And then we got to ordering. So first cab off the rank was a full prawn, or shrimp as they call it here. Full prawn. It would have been shelled, but the head was still intact. Rolled up into a little tortilla, and the whole thing was fried. So the whole thing was crispy with a little sauce on the top, kind of a mayonnaise-y, thick, fatty sauce. Very delicious. I did not leave a single eyeball on the plate. I ate the whole thing. Now, as I said, I couldn't find the menu. So essentially what we got was an array of quesadillas, tacos. We got a fish tostada with potato chips on top that was really fresh and delicious and crispy. We got, I believe, the duck carnitas, a barbacoa. We got a lovely salad. It was all really delicious. The reason I'm saying it like this is because apart from that prawn, which really stood in my mind, I can't tell you exactly what else I ate. Not to say that it was bad, but nothing really stood out except for the prawn. All in all, a great first proper meal in Mexico. As we were walking out, we walked back down the stairs past the big stone tortilla cooker. And as we get down to the downstairs taqueria, we are hit in the face with shame. Because downstairs is like this bustling, lively, young crowd of people just standing and eating tacos. And it just felt way more local and way more casual, which is kind of what I like. So I felt like we've been not tourist trapped, but like if you're going to go, I would recommend sacking the restaurant. I'm pretty sure all the tacos are available downstairs. It's way more casual. I assume it's a little cheaper, and it just felt like such a vibe. So first night, we were just lucky to find somewhere great to eat, and all in all, it was delicious. Next morning, we go to Panderia Rosetta, which if you've done any research into Mexico City and their food, I'm sure this one has come up. It is a bakery, first and foremost. They specialize in like these guava danishes. Now, we went to the one in La Condesa, which was super chill, like super easy to order, didn't have to wait at all. You could have sat down, we were just getting it to go. We did walk past one, I believe, in Roma, Norte, in a more populated area, and the line to get pastries was like out of this world. So I'll put in the address for the one that we went to. I assume it doesn't quite have the same array of food that the primary one does, which is fine. You want to go, you want to taste the quality. As long as you're not super intent on getting one specific pastry, I think you'll be fine. So we got a coffee, which was actually pretty average, but we got the guava ricotta Danish, which was delicious. It was a very high quality pastry. And we also got a blueberry, what it felt like was a blueberry ciabatta meets focaccia. So a little bit more savory, not all sweet, like bread on the bottom with the sweet blueberries on top, and rosemary, which was really interesting. I probably preferred that just because it was something that I've never tasted before. So great morning. We had to fuel ourselves for a big morning of galleries, which I talk about in the other video. And after a big morning of walking around, we were ravenous by lunchtime, and we went to Orinoco Taquería, which there are several all around Mexico City. I don't know if it's like blasphemous or basic to go to this place. I feel like it's not, because it was full of locals. It didn't feel like it was full of tourists, but because it was a chain, I guess, it felt a little bit less authentic. But the tacos were, I think I can say, the best I had on the whole trip. They were phenomenal. We got a huge mix of trompo, which I think was the al pastor, like pork, crispy pork belly, res, which is beef. We got some contra style, which is like the taco, but the tortilla has cheese like flattened onto it. We got some of the big tacos. We got a shit ton of potatoes, and they were all really good. You get a bunch of salsas, you can pick and choose which you want to put on. Really great casual vibe. Obviously the tacos with cheese smushed onto the tortilla is, how can you do much better than that? And crispy pork belly. Obviously they are the most delicious, but the al pastor, the trompo, just simple. I think it had a little bit of grilled pineapple, was perfectly balanced. Probably my favorite. Really fresh but satisfying. Really good tacos. For this huge feast we got was under $30 US, which is pretty great. And I would highly recommend that. That night we just went to an average bar, which I won't talk about because it's not worth your time. And the next morning is the big day. This is the one booking we had for the whole trip, and that was for Contramar. Now, my sister booked Contramar. I had no idea what it was. She booked it weeks in advance. She somehow got a booking, even though I've heard it's so sought after and so difficult to get a booking. Essentially, Contramar is a big restaurant serving fresh seafood, Mexican food. It's definitely on the fancier side in comparison to some of the other places you can go in Mexico City. Like I said, Everyone recommends it. My sister, all her friends, you gotta go to Contramar. You gotta go to Contramar. Every man and his dog is telling you have to go to Contramar. People on Reddit were recommending me Contramar. So I went in with really high expectations, which I never recommend doing. Sometimes it's inevitable like this, but props to my sister. She somehow got this booking. Now, the vibe is fun. It's fun. You've got these waiters who are all dressed to the nines. It's busy, it's bustling. People are all there to celebrate. It's a really fun vibe. Two things off the bat. Firstly, the expectations were really high. And secondly, my brother-in-law and my sister were sick. And what do you feel like not eating when you don't feel that great? Fish. So that put a bit of dampener on it. No diss to them, but they could have chosen a more convenient time to get sick. But I'll walk you through what we ate. So this was our big day. I was so ready. The booking was at 12, which is absurd to begin with, but I was really ready. I get in, I ask for a Mexican wine equivalent of a Chardonnay, similar profile. The wine off the bat, really delicious. A really crisp, slightly buttery white wine. My sister, not feeling that great, didn't want to dive into the raw fish. Completely fair. They got a sweet potato tostada to start. Tasted like it looked. And Ro and I got a tuna tostada and a scallop tostada, which were really good. The seafood's super fresh. I don't know how because Mexico City is landlocked, but super fresh, balanced, crunchy, delicious. I can't say anything bad about it. I can't say anything super good about it, but I can't say anything bad about it. Octopus with potatoes, beautiful olive oil, and a paprika kind of dusting on the top. Really good. Really good. It's octopus and potatoes. Delicious. Next, fried tuna tacos. Chopped up tuna and like fried, so it's quite crispy. All the toppings, you had a black bean reduction, not refried beans, but yeah, sort of a black bean sauce. Beautiful hand-pressed tacos. I was starting to enjoy this a lot more than what we'd already eaten. It just was a bit more interesting. It was crispy. It was slightly better. Now, at this point, even though my sister and her husband are big eaters, because they were sort of defeated by whatever unknown illness they had, they were kind of like, oh, I'm happy not eating more. And Ro and I are kind of like, well, it is Contramar. We doubled down and we decided to get the green and red fish, which is a full white fish, half side like a parsley sauce and half side a red sort of spicy sauce. Very visual, very fun. This was the best savory dish we had. The fish was beautiful and delicate. You can eat it with tacos. Beautifully cooked fish with delicious sauces. You can't go wrong. It was great. We got another round of drinks. I got a drink that had mezcal and hibiscus in it, which tasted like an interesting mezcal margarita, which was really good. And then, of course, the fanfare of dessert. So at this place, they bring over the tray of desserts. Obviously, they all look amazing. My sister narrowed it down. She said, you can choose any of these four. And we chose the fig tart and the flan, which were very, very, very high quality desserts. The flan was the most beautiful texture, deep, rich, caramelly, melt in your mouth. And the fig tart had beautiful, juicy, ripe figs. The biscuit was crumbly, buttery, and it was really good. And we got an espresso martini just to have a little sip of each. All in all, the vibe was great. The food was really good. It's just the hype is too much and it's pretty expensive for Mexico City. You can get equally as good food for a lot cheaper. I thought the food was tastier at Orinoco. But you're going for the vibe, you're going for a lovely lunch, and if you want to check it out, I can't say anything bad about it except that I probably went in with too high expectations and my dumb sister and her husband decided to get sick. Okay, so Friday. So that afternoon we split because my sister and brother-in-law had a wedding. That night, Ro and I went and got very cheap tacos at Pescadito. So imagine Contramar. Imagine the concept of Contramar, seafood, Mexican. Imagine that, but at 1/20th of the price. That's where we went for dinner. So we spent about, I want to say $6 on 3 big, hefty tacos. We got the fried fish, fried prawn, and chopped tuna, which were great. There's a whole vat of the different toppings, different sauces. It's casual, you have a Pacifico, you sit on the street. It's cheap, it's delicious. Was it better food than Contramar? Look, it wasn't. But if we're taking the price point, I know which one I'd rather go to. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. We just stopped there for quick tacos before going to a few bars that night, which I talk about in my other video. I like Pescadito a lot. Deep fried fish, deep fried prawns, stuffed in a taco, smothered in whatever sauce you desire for $2. Get me 10. So the next day was our final full day in Mexico City. We knew we had to go out with a bang. We kicked off in the morning at El Tigrillo, which is a cafe in Roma, Norte. Maybe a bit more on the fancier side. We kicked off with, look, we knew what we had to get at El Tigrillo, and that was the corn pancakes. So we stuffed around, we pretended we were gonna get proper breakfast. Ro and I got some sort of corn tortilla, fried egg, shallow little pool of black bean reduction, refried beans. Delicious, really well balanced. We got a horchata. Ali and Jordan got some sort of Mexican dish, but really we were in it for the pancakes. We ordered 2 serves from the get-go. You have to give it 20 to 30 minutes to be made. Slowly as we're eating our first savory dishes, we're like, everyone around us seems to be getting 1 stack of pancakes per 5, 6 people. So like, interesting. It's very interesting. Should we cancel? I guess we're just gonna have to see what kind of damage we can do. They came over. Needless to say, they were absolutely delicious. Corn pancakes, you would think that they're not gonna be as fluffy as regular wheat flour pancakes, but super fluffy, drenched in this like caramel butter with plantain on top. Just look at them. Unbelievable. Very good. We finished them off. It doesn't hurt that my brother-in-law is 7 foot tall and can pretty much finish off anything, assuming he doesn't have food poisoning the day we go to Contramar. But unbelievable. Too much, probably, but delicious. That really filled us up. We didn't need much else throughout the day. On our last night, we went and got a few drinks, and I felt at this point a desperate need to fulfill the street taco thing. I'd gone to Contramar, I'd gone to eat corn pancakes, I'd gone to a bloody Japanese cafe, and I hadn't had any street food. So we went to Jenni's Quesadillas for dinner. My sister and her husband, they had a long haul flight the next day. They were too scared to eat street food, and my sister proceeded to get shit on by a bird. So that's karma if I ever did hear it. Jenni's Quesadillas. So you walk past during the day, huge line. We went in the evening, like half an hour before it packs up. So we didn't have to wait very long. They're there making the quesadillas. I assume it's Jenni making them, and you say what you want. We got a pork with cheese and a mushroom with cheese. And then you go to this lovely man who has all these vats of sauces, and you choose which one you want. He assumed, probably correctly, that we wanted the green one. So he slathers them both in that. And I go, oh, and can we get the chili too? And he just looks at me and goes, no. I go, okay. I'm insulted, but I'm sure it's for the best. Look, I assume this man was saving me. And I'm glad I didn't have that really spicy sauce, because I feel like it could have ruined the dish. And the quesadillas were delicious. I think it cost us $4 for the 2 of them, which just goes to show you can eat cheap, very delicious food in Mexico City. You don't need to go to fancy restaurants. We did a bit of both, but most places serve really delicious food. On our last morning, we had to leave early. So we just walked down the street. There's vendors everywhere. Stopped at one that looked good, bought a chorizo and pork taco. You can put your own little sauces on, $2. Delicious. I'd highly recommend getting stuck into that side of Mexico City. There's obviously epic bars, there's epic restaurants, galleries, but nothing beats walking up to a street vendor, spending not that much money to get really authentic, tasty food. It was a great city. Hope you enjoyed, and peace.